There we go. Okay. I'm having some minor technical difficulties as usual today. And I didn't have my playback muted. Golly, it's a mess. I've been having a little bit of physical issues today, but I'm okay. It's when you get old, things start happening to you. It's not fun. And I unfortunately don't have the best lungs, and so some days are a little bit tough. But you know what? If you feel like you can keep doing it, you should keep doing the things you like doing. And I like doing this, so here we are. And that's it's kind of how you play it. And yeah, so got that going for us. The dog wants out already. Are you serious, Pupper? She couldn't have done that like a saying go. Okay, I'm gonna be like right back because I gotta go let this dog out. So hold on. Oh, that's the wrong one. We'll put that on. There we go. Come on, go, go, go. Go, 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 go. Come on. Let's go. Thank you. There you go. Oh, of course that has to happen like right in the middle of the very beginning of everything. That is unfortunate for me, but that's okay. There's my phone. Nobody actually cares. Hold on. Somebody text me something. All right. So we're working on these dwarves, which are a whole lot of fun. At least for me. I don't know that everybody thinks dwarves are entertaining. You know. Golly. Hopefully I don't spend this entire stream coughing. If that happens, then we might have to end early. Because you guys really don't want to listen to me cough all day long. You know, spend an hour listening to that. That's awful. I mean, it's a weird world, man. There's all sorts of people that think all sorts of things. It's okay. So let's see. Gotta brush it up. I think we got everything ready to go. This over here. I did start working on this guy. He looks a lot like Balin from Lord of the Rings. Balin at your service. So, and then we got these two. They're pretty much ready for wash. It's time to start working on some of their other smaller details. So they're getting pretty close. I'm not sure if I want to dump all of these washes today. I want to start working on some of these other fun guys, and then kind of do all their washes at once. Kind of have to make some choices. It's always fun when you've got things to choose from. But let's go ahead. Yeah, let's do some wash on these guys. That way that can kind of set up. And then while that's setting up, we can work on some of the other guys we got. We got new short up. The Foated Bloat Drone is up. Oh my gosh, I got this one sealed on there. Good. Go check that out if you haven't checked that out on the shorts feed. It's pretty awesome. Good lord, come on now. Oh, I got that one on there real good, y'all. Oh, I'm gonna give myself some sort of muscle pull trying to open it. This is usually where you open it and it goes flying everywhere. You need a towel to help. There we go. Just need a little extra. I needed a little extra padding for the grip. Oh, golly, that thing was on there tough. Might have to clean that lid up before I and put it back on there. Moly moly. Holy moly. Oh, I did almost pull something like in my rib cage. Oh. Okay, so now I got this up. I have this poor brush has now become our nappy brush. It takes care of the stuff that's in the nappy. Which is what this is. It's pretty grubby, which is what we want. We want it. This is like a grime wash is what I call this. It's just mineral spirits and black oil paint, and it works out great. You can already see kind of how it's gonna run down things. What we want to do is we're gonna add this stuff to the armory bits. And it's going to help find all the crevices for us. And we can also do this on the leather. It kind of helps that leather give it an oily look. I do want to be careful. I don't want to put this necessarily on her cloth. I really kind of want to avoid the hair, which I did accidentally hit. But this stuff cleans it pretty easy. Just get a little, it's like a makeup sponge on a stick. So that stuff, it works for, this stuff works really well. You know, or you could spend all that money that Games Workshop wants for non-oil. That stuff's crazy expensive for no reason. And you can never find it. Yeah, it's such a gimmick. They do so, it's so funny. Damn you, James Workshop! We definitely call him James a lot around here, which is perfectly alright. I have a whole packet of these. So I constantly set one down and lose it because they're so small. And that's it. Now I am going to go ahead and nail her britches with that stuff. The rest of this stuff I'm just going to kind of come through, give it a quick one over. Definitely want to do this. Looks like a couple places I missed with the metallics. Come back and knock those out real quick. Go ahead and do this wood since this is going to be real old and polished. And that stuff pretty much almost instantly makes things look more used, more worn. Come on, the camera. Play with us. Play nice today. careful in here. We don't want to interfere too much with, I always say, his pants or some of this other stuff. But we don't want it to hit the horn. We do want to do the helmet. Okay, so this stuff's super easy to make. Just a few ingredients, or 2 ingredients, honestly. Oil paint and mineral spirits. It just makes you a nice oily wash. Very similar to GW's Nun Oil. Not exactly the same. They put some other stuff in their things. Some other medium. But this has the same effect, which in the end is what we're going for. So that's good. So I made it on Facebook for like a week, and I didn't even think it was a week, and jumped right off it. So it was nice. Anybody who's maybe found us through Facebook, great to have you. But there's just not a whole lot goes on Facebook that I want to be a part of, so I'm not on there very often, and I definitely don't stick around on there for very long. Which is all right. All right, while that's drying, let's do this guy. I want to make his cloak a nice green. This guy looks like he's our rogue or ranger. He's got his backpack's great. Looks like we got a few. Oh, look at this. I found another magnifying glass. This was in my granddad's stuff. And I was like, oh, that's great. It's a whole lot smaller than that giant thing we had. And maybe actually can like, oh my gosh. That's epic. I wonder if I can. Oh yeah. Hey, looky there. I need to find a way to like. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute, y'all. I need to figure out a way to... Oh, that's great. There you go. Now you can really see a lot more. There's a lot of detail in these little guys. Uh-oh. What fell? I don't think there's anything important. Doesn't look like it. Maybe one of those little sponges. Okay, what were we looking at? We were looking at this model. I was watching the camera too. That's crazy. Man. See, we need a lens that has a magnifier on it. That's what we need. We need a camera that has some sort of lens that allows us to magnify. That is the next big step. The mic upgrade was huge. I love this mic. But we definitely, the next step for the channel would be to upgrade this camera. Because, I mean, obviously I can't paint like this because I'm holding the magnifying glass. But he's cool. Okay, so some potions. There's a scroll sticking out of his pack right there. He's got one pauldron, 2 pauldrons. Cloak. Okay. And again, this is going to be pretty easy for us. That zenithal highlight is going to do most of our work here. We just need to make sure we're giving it some nice clean strokes. I don't know why I don't ever put this dang palette right where everybody can see what I'm doing, where I'm doing that. I added a bunch of other colors, so we have tons of colors now. This is it's called sap green. This one's the golden acrylic sap green, which is different than Winsor Newton's sap green. Just so you know that, yeah, it's. I have both. This will be fun. Let me get this. Make sure I get all these brush strokes going in the right direction and everything covered. And I'll show you guys something really interesting. Well, something I find interesting. I don't know that other people find some of these things that I think are really wild as interesting as I find them. I need to figure out what color beard did they give this guy too. I've got a gray beard, an orange beard. We've got a blonde lady. She's got this dwarf doesn't have that dwarf doesn't have a beard, but she's lame. So we could do him blonde. He'd be like the Green Arrow of the dwarves if we made him into a blonde. Okay. Sure, all my strokes are clean. Makes sense going whatever direction they're going. There you go. Looks good. Okay, so check this out. Sap green, right? Now this says sap green hue. Now there's one factor to think about when it says something. When something says hue, it means a specific thing, and we're gonna get into that in just a second. I gotta find this other sap green. Where'd it go? Not that one. Watch me not be able to find it. There we go. Okay, so these are going to be close, but not exactly. Because this one is not a hue. So this is sap green hue by Golden, and this is regular sap green by, hey, Sir McBeardsly, good to see you. So this is cool. Now, hue means typically that it's a derivative. It's not going to be a pure, what would have been considered old school sap green. So this is going to have something else in it that changes it. So it's a hue of sap green. It is sap green, but it's not exactly made out of the traditional old school sap green stuff, which is what this is made out of. So when you look at them, they're going to be very different. Which I think I find this stuff super fascinating. So you can see just how different those colors of paints are, right? Let me get them on the white. Get them like that. Here we go. Now you can. That's a really good comparison. So different, right? Now this one can get to here, but we probably have to tinker with it to get it there. But if we wanted to use this, we just drop this down there. Okay. But I like this. I like this darker green. I like the hue of it. I like starting down in that area. It's very similar to a hooker's green, but not quite. So hooker's green is a little bit more. It's not quite as olivey. It's a little bit more pure, like a foresty green. Matter of fact, let's put a little down, just so you can see it. Almost exactly the same color as this one, right? And that's a phthalo in between it. Now phthalo is a pure synthetic color versus the other two. And that's a phthalo blue versus a phthalo green. And like I said, both of those are synthetics, complete synthetics. So, you know, there's a lot to learn about different kinds of paint pigments and how paint works. If you really, really want to dig down and deep and learn a lot about it, let's see. There's a couple of great people that do stuff. What's the wrong brush? Goobertown Hobby had a great thing where he went into several of the different paint companies and like took a look at their stuff. Shy Guy, hey, definitely experiment with different colors and had fun as well. Absolutely, man. We got all sorts of different colors. I love looking for new colors, new things. But for most of the paint choices I use, there's not a whole lot of them anymore that are going to be new. So I have to find like other brands, especially like metallics. A lot of the finer acrylic paints that I use don't make their stuff in metallics, so I have to. I like finding a good one from someone else. Is he? It's got his arms out. He does. This looks like muscle. So, okay. We need to decide on what beard color we need to give this guy. Let me know what you guys think. Holla at you, guy. I'll paint his beard whatever color you guys want. I don't care. It doesn't make any difference to me. Yeah, definitely experiment and have fun. That's the main thing, guys. So I don't think we say this often enough, but like the whole point of doing all this was to have a good time, right? You got into this hobby to enjoy yourself. If you're stressing yourself out with your technique, you definitely need to reevaluate what you're doing. Make it easier for yourself so that you're not stressing. You know, or find a maybe what's getting you stressed out is what you're painting. You know, maybe you need to take a step back, let that thing sit on the back burner for a second. Go do some stuff that made you happy when you first came into the hobby, and then, you know, come back to that thing that's frustrating you. Well, it's easier said than done, of course, but I think it needs to be said. Sometimes we're all pushing to find the next thing or whatever, instead of really just, you know, playing with colors and having fun. It's a great way of putting that, Shy Guy. I appreciate that. Come. Oh, gotta watch out. I'm gonna start running out of room in my lung again. I feel like I'm down to only one. The allergies this week have been crazy, this whole year has been nuts. Allergy wise. It looks like I've got a little dried smutsy. That's probably super glue that has come through. So before we get any further, do just a little cleanup very carefully. I probably should have done this before I searched it. Nice red beard. Yeah, we got one of those guys. We've got a red beard. Orange, almost. We could always give him another red beard. Red would look good against the green too. That would look good. We could go with the more yellowish red instead of the orangey red. That would be cool. Make the variation. I'm gonna be super careful here now. And sometimes I wouldn't even mess with this, but since it's right out here and you're gonna see his wrist, like we really want to make sure that we sculpt this down. Yeah. I somewhere in there. I'm digging it. Just be patient here. Don't get in a rush. You'll knock it off, your whole hand off, and then you have to reglue it, and you're starting this whole thing over again. There we go. Now we got it cleared out, right? No problem. Yeah, I like that idea. Auburn, like a reddish, like that blondish red, very Viking. Yeah, that's a little bit more of a brownish red. Got a lot of, yeah, so many options. And dwarves in red and auburn hair are like, that's normal. I think everybody's got a bunch of those. I think I want to do a couple of them that are not Caucasians though. So I want to do, I think this guy, and give him the black beard and black muscles and all that stuff. And maybe this guy, I don't know. This guy's pretty stacked too. I've really kind of gotten into doing that. I did that on the Space Marines too, where I made sure they didn't all look like they were. All the exposed ones had different hair colors and different, a little bit different facial tones and stuff like that. I mean, they were majority Caucasians because it's for a Caucasian kid and family, but definitely put a guy who looked very either Native American or possibly, you know, Hispanic and Native mix, whatever. There's a lot of things you could look at him and, you know, feel that way because he's just some darkness to it, a little camelness to him. Ooh. Right in this shirt. Some silver streaks. That's cool. This one got a silver streak to his hand. That was not cool. Kind of like that idea of some silver streaks. Could actually use like some silver paint to do it. That'd look cool. It's a good idea. I swear every year I get older, I get more scam calls during the day. I want to know how it still works. Like, how are we in a time where like that still works? Who answers that phone call anymore? Like, ah. I'll be glad when we live in a world where they're not scamming you. Oh man, so I had one the other day while I was out Ubering. Y'all love this. Great story. So I'm out Ubering, right? I'm out driving people around, making my money, and getting my folding money is what I like to call it. It basically gets spent on all sorts of crazy stuff I make for us to eat around here. Which currently I'm making jardinera. If you don't know what that is, we'll talk about that later. Anyway, so I get this call to go pick up a writer named Mary, and I get there, and there's nobody there. It's actually trying to like make me go inside of FedEx, which is weird. Like you're not supposed to pick up people inside of FedEx. There's a way you kind of go. There's a place where you pick people up at FedEx. Anyway. So I'm a little like, okay, what's going on here? Oh, my dog's barking. You actually say there are so many people who refer to the technology to integrate. Yeah, that's true. They do prey on panic emotions. So yeah. So and this would be a trying to prey on people's like greed. So this guy gets on there and he's like, "Hi, this is from Uber support." And you're like, "Oh, okay." And he starts reading off all my information, like that he got from Uber. And I'm like, "This is really weird, man. Something just doesn't seem right about this." He's like, "Yeah, if you can complete this survey and we'll give you $200." I'm like, "Man, why would Uber just give me $200? Like, why and how? What's going on here?" And then so it gets to a certain point where I'm like, "Man, this just doesn't seem right, brother." Because he's trying to get me to input this credit card information into something, and I'm like, "Man, I don't give a shit if this is your gift card you're trying to give me. This seems wrong. This seems something's wrong." And he hangs up. And I was like, "Man, y'all mother scratchers. You're trying to prey off of people out here trying to make money, and you're trying to prey off of their need for that money. You bastages." Ah, it was terrible. All right, I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna let that silly dog in. Do I like it? I'm coming. Gotta let El Pepperino out and in. It'd be rude not to. So yeah, and like I said, I'm making some jardinera, which is very tasty. It's a pickled vegetable. It's kind of like an Italian, Mediterranean kind of pickled thing. Really tasty. We used to make it at the restaurant all the time. People really liked it. Okay, so we're gonna figure out like this guy right here. Pants color, and does look like he's got a piece of solid iron on underneath all that. So we need to give him a pants color. It boils down to the IRS and the police won't ever call you to get payments. Your bank won't call you to access your account. No one is going to give you money out of nowhere. Yeah, I mean, that's where it's like, you start going, oh, we're just going to get, even if it's somebody who's supposed to be your job, like, or Uber, it's like, man, why would Uber just like give me $200? That doesn't seem like the kind of horrendous, soul-crushing corporation that they typically are. Something feels wrong. Something is amiss. All right, what color for pants? Maybe a phthalo blue. What do you think about that? Yeah. his little style comes out in his pantalones. Some sort of pouch. This is me. Painting 3D prints a lot of times is like old school miniatures when everything used to be basically, you know, metal casts and stuff like that. It's very different than painting, say, Warhammer stuff, where it's really a model kit you're putting together and then painting. A lot of times with 3D prints, you don't get the option of when you put stuff on and how you put it on. I guess I could have waited to put this knife on. It would be easier to paint all that inside, but there's not a whole lot there, so I wasn't terribly worried about it. But, you know, if it was a Citadel piece, you'd have him in like 7 different pieces. The backpack would be its own deal. You'd be able to paint that separately if you wanted. For better or worse. There's good and bad about all that. A lot of it just depends on how, you know, how you like to do things and what your end goal is. The amount of customization you get out of like a Games Workshop stuff is insane. If your bank calls you, hang up and call your bank from your customer service line. Yeah, and double check. The government doesn't take gift cards as a payment. It really doesn't. There's some real basic things you can do to kind of protect yourself online. That is for real. A lot of it just comes down to like thinking about it for just a second. Just go like, wait a minute. Now, why would they want to do that? Or wait. The government needs this from me, and they didn't send me a letter through their post office. Like they own the post office, right? The government and the post office, that's their thing. When they want to communicate with you, they typically use their institution. Almost got your oh man, I almost got McBeardsly's grandpa. Yeah, it's messed up, brother. It's definitely just preying on people who are just not able to comprehend what's going on there. Because I get it. As I kind of get older, I kind of get to where I'm like, man, I don't understand this thing, and I don't understand that thing. And it would be easy to catch me on a lot of stuff. You got the stuff. Yeah, PayPal is pretty scummy. I wonder who runs PayPal. Who could that be that developed and owns PayPal? It seems like maybe that person may not be the most trustworthy of individuals. I wonder who that could have been. He says facetiously. If you don't know, go look that up. Or wait for a moment. Sir McBeardsly's probably getting ready to go on a rant. It is. They're bad. It's a necessary evil with the things I do, like the way I conduct business with the shops and all that stuff. Like PayPal is kind of like a necessity. But God, if I could not use it, I would totally get like. I would much rather use a lot of other platforms. It's like, you got Cash App, man, or Venmo, or, not PayPal. I don't even really particularly like Venmo. It's just, Vanguard and BlackRock. Ugh, gross. That's why, like, I keep kind of having a little bit of a giggle about everybody that's like, well, why isn't so and so doing anything about this and that and the other thing? And you're like, bro, because they're all bought and paid for. Man, while y'all were asleep in this he said, she said, slinging fight, you guys all forgot that these people work for the same motherfucking team. And it in APAC. I mean, APAC is a big part of it. They got a lot of money, but it's Vanguard, Oracle, BlackRock. You know, these are the people that they're paying attention to. Man, they don't give a damn about us. Why should they? Until a big problem comes up and we actually do something that makes it to where they've got to stand up and look at what's happening, or they're going to not make any money. They don't. The rich do not care what anybody thinks. They don't even really care what each other thinks. So, like, there is no real loyalty in all of that. Like, any second now, it could go south, and all of these people will abandon the current situation just as fast as they abandoned the last situation. Saudi Arabia, PIF, a couple others bought EA game. Oh man, I didn't know the Saudis had bought EA. Yikesums. Oh, Fruits Magoots. We should get an article to verify that one. Ugh, that's so gross. I mean, I'm not hating anybody for making a little bit of money, but dang it, y'all. There's a line where you're like, how much money do you need personally to keep yourself satisfied? You know, there's a limit to how much money you can spend in a lifetime. You know, there's a point where like, you literally just couldn't spend any more of that money. There's a point in a lifetime where your family couldn't even spend that much money in 5 or 6 generations of people, and they're still trying to accumulate more and still get more power. Me, all I want to do is dance. Why not? Why not? Why not? Why not? Anyway, we'll see what happens. Hopefully they don't start some silly... I almost would rather prefer them to all be ripping each other off and ripping us off than killing all our kids. As long as we're not like in a giant world war. Kind of feels like, you know, where it could get worse. Okay, it was bad now, but at least we're not at a point where we're like, you know, the entire world is fighting itself. It's close, but it's not quite there yet. And I pray that it doesn't. Sincerely. Is that a book? Some sort of satchel. Some sort of satchel. What is that? Is that a filigree? It looks like you got a piece of armor. Paint this satchel leather. Definitely not a book. It's not straight enough. It's kind of blobby. Like some sort of leather pouch or cloth. Interesting. Nice little leather pouch. Oh wow, it's already been 45 minutes. Time flies when you're telling fun stories or talking about the horrible people that run this world. It's everywhere. True thing. They think, man, that's never good when you see a company go that was public go private. It's like, oh, this is not going to end well. Usually that means they're about to completely strip it or something like that. EA Games, wow. That's a big fall too. Like I shocked that they sold themselves to anybody. Must have been a shitload of money. But, you know, I don't really know exactly how all those mergers and stuff work. There may be something going on there that I don't comprehend that helps everybody out there, and everybody makes a ton of money. I'm not greedy enough to understand it all. It's probably what it is. Gotta have a certain level of greed, you know? Cruising around on this guy. Alright. So, I'm giving this guy like a blondish red hair. Start off with the Naples yellow. She got get up under her. Man, that's crazy. What a wild, wild time to be alive. It feels like all the stuff that we learned about trust busting in school didn't mean shit. Here we are again. They're going to do it again too. They'll completely collapse the economy. I'll never get it, but I don't have 34 million bonus dangling in my face either. Yeah. Be set for life is what they think, and then they end up dead before it matters anyway. And a good riddance to Multi. Piss off. Bastards. Alright, so now here we go. We just come right on top of all this with kind of a cadmium that's maybe a little too thick. You really want to get this pretty thin. There's a cadmium orange right there. Really trying to get that, you know, almost like a wash. I want it to settle in these crevices. We'll probably come back again with our blonde color, the Naples. After this is all said and done. I'd like to think, or Sugar Bitch says he'd like to think if he made that much money, he'd at least take half it and give the entire company a huge bonus. Yeah, that's the problem is that most people are just too dang greedy, man. And neither of us would end up in that position because we are not greedy enough to get to the position. That's why we would never get there, because we simply, neither one of us have that kind of greed in our heart, and you have to, because the people that are hiring you to do the job have that kind of greed, and that's just the way. It's the way it all goes. It's just the way it is. Come on, Mr. Camera. I'm telling you, that magnifying glass is the way to go. You need to figure out how to get this to sit right in front of that lens. I could build a... Oh, yeah. That's crazy. I'm telling you, really. I wonder, man, bet you I could just, like, tape that to the dang lens. Man, I'm about to do it. Don't be surprised if y'all come back on tomorrow and I've got that dang magnifying glass taped to that thing, because for real, that's huge. It's like a whole different camera setting. Man, I'm serious. I'm gonna come back and watch this just so I can see what it looks like. But it for real looks like that's gonna be the way to go. Man, I wonder why I never thought about that in the first place. It's probably thinking too hard about, oh, it has to be a special camera or something, instead of the easy answer, which is just put the damn magnifying glass in front of it. I don't imagine we'll have this guy for long. A dwarf rogue. He looks great too. And definitely looks like an adventurer. I imagine somebody will buy him pretty quickly. Speaking of buying, we've got 2 shows coming up in November here in the Oklahoma area, in and around Oklahoma. We will be in El Reno on the 1st and OKC on the 22nd, I believe. So if you live in Oklahoma and you can see us, come out there and say hello. Love to have you. Love to see you. Especially if you get out there and you definitely came out to say hello to us. That would be wild. That stuff always make me like, oh, I watch you on YouTube. Like that's cool. It's only happened once for somebody I didn't know prior to me YouTubing, but it has happened once. It was really nice. I was shocked. Like, it's shocking how much reach a little YouTube thing can get. Yeah, he's gonna look great. Definitely want to orange up that beard a little bit more. This little gap is still not quite too much. Just a little too much shadow. That should take care of that. And then I'm gonna glaze that one more time once it all dries out with the orange, and then we'll go from there. Yeah, El Reno is old school on that too, man. There's a couple of good ones out there. You should totally do it. All right, let's see. Let's get this thing wrapped up. I gotta go take my car to the shop, get a tire replaced. That's never fun, but that's part of the life, right? Gotta get it done. Anyway, woo, there we go. Hope everybody enjoys the Dwarves. We're getting close. I'm definitely gonna start knocking a few of these things out tonight. I don't have a whole lot going on tonight after I get my kids home, because I don't have to do any extracurricular activities this week because it's fall break, which is awesome. So I get to miss out on running everybody around after the hours, which is cool. Yeah. So we'll be back tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel, or pat time, I guess. Same pat time, same pat channel. I wonder if I get sued for that. Anyway, yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. Paint up some more stuff, and then check out my shorts. I dropped some new shorts, so they will be on there on the YouTubes. Check those out. Get that stuff moving around. That helps grow the channel. If you did like what you saw, give us a like and a subscribe. That also helps a lot. It's pretty cool. We're almost to the 500 mark, which is like a big deal, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, that's all I got. Be good to yourselves. Be good to somebody else. Be good to people you don't know. Spread that good around. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye.